Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the series, United Realty of Canada's webinar series. Today's topic is going to be about branding for success and how to grow your business. So welcome, everybody. Thank you for attending this webinar. We have an exciting speaker today, Dr. Shahab Anari, and he's going to be motivating us and giving us some exciting information about how to grow our business. I'd like to thank our sponsors, United Realty of Canada, Mr. Pat Javdan, Broker of Record, and Dr. Alex Ahanchin, General Manager of United Realty of Canada, for your gracious support and sponsoring this webinar series. Thank you. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Dr. Shahab Anari. He is the top 1% of the coaches in North America and Canada, talking on the topic of personal branding, okay? And personal branding is an important topic, and it does not really matter what type of business you're in, because if you can understand this concept of personal branding, you're going to increase your business 10 times, 20 times, even 100 times. So again, without a further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Shahab Anari, and he's going to be talking to us about power training us today. So get ready and learn for the next 60 minutes.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Dr. Shahab Anari, to joining us. Thank you, everybody who joined us today. I want to just mention a few things for the audience. Dr. Shahab Anari is one of the well-known branding expert in the field. And I recommend everybody to check his website, to check his programs and attend those. I strongly recommend. And Dr. Shahab Anari had event with famous people like Robert Kiyosaki, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Many people, they know him. Also, he had a joint event with Dr. Deepak Chopra, another very famous person in the field. And so we are very happy that we have him today. And before I start, I'd like to mention to everybody that United Realty of Canada strongly believe in specializing, niche market, and branding. So this is that we strongly believe. And if you want to be superstar in any business, including real estate business, you have to be a specialist. You have to have a niche market, and you have to know how to brand yourself, personal branding. So Dr. Shahab Anari is there to help you. Today he's going to talk about branding. Also, again and again, I recommend check his programs and join his program. Thank you, Doctor, and we are all ears.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Pat, Jerry. Thanks for inviting me. I'm really excited about the next few minutes. I'm going to be sharing some ideas, tips, tricks, tools that can hopefully help all of you folks to move your business forward, grow your business, get more clients, and actually build your brand. It's an honor, privilege, and a joy to be invited by you guys. I'm happy to see Dr. Alex. I think last time I met him was 5-6 years ago at an event I was speaking. It's good to see everybody. Jerry, thanks for the coordination, and welcome to the personal branding webinar. Let me pin my video and so that you can see me better. And then let's start. I'm gonna, Jerry, can you enable share screening for me? Because I'm gonna be sharing my screen and showing a few slides.
Yeah, I think I've enabled that. So can you share that right now?
Fantastic, yeah. Thank you. Okay. So, everyone can see my slide. Just hop onto the chat box and let me know.
Yes.
Fantastic. Awesome. And by the way, this is not a unidirectional, one-way street kind of presentation. I will be sharing with you a lot of value-packed tips, tricks, strategies that you can use to grow your business. I'm going to be giving you examples of business leaders in general and real estate leaders in particular, that examples that are relevant to you as real estate professionals. So this is not some generic presentation that I give to everywhere I'm invited. This is customized for you. I'm going to be giving examples, just like I said, from business leaders in general and real estate leaders. So you can see for yourself that these ideas are working for others who are successful in the field, and you can do the same to grow your business. So our topic today is grow your business with personal branding and PR. And I'm going to be talking specifically about the 6 different solutions that you can use to build your brand, get more clients, and make more impact. For those of you who really don't know me that much yet, although Pat and Jerry were kind enough to kind of introduce me, very, very briefly, I'm the founder of North Star Success. North Star Success is a personal branding agency here in Toronto. We are proud that we have served clients in 19 different countries, a lot of them in the real estate profession. I'm going to be showing you a few examples of very successful ones in Canada and beyond. I'm proud to say that I've shared the stage with legends like Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, Robert Kiyosaki, Deepak Chopra, some of the dragons from the Dragon's Den. And my work has been featured in Forbes, Toronto Star, the Wall Street Journal. I sit on the board of International Coaching Federation in Toronto. I'm a board member, and I'm also the member of CAP's High Income Earners Group, the top 1% in Canada. I'm just telling you this so that you know me, so that you know who is your speaker. I'm not trying to be braggadocious. It's just a snippet of what I've done over the years. So you're in good hands. I know what I'm talking about. I've been in this field for a very long time. I've lived in 3 different countries, built my brand in different niches, different areas, and hopefully some of my insights today can help you become more successful in your business too. So the thing is, the world has gone online due to COVID, right? That's a given. Even though some people are still resisting the idea of going online, and they might think this doesn't work in my industry, this is just a fad, it's temporary, it will go away, we will go back to normal. All of us know deep inside that we're not going back to the pre-COVID normal, right? So we know what's going on in the real estate industry. Of course, you folks are the pros, but as an outsider of the real estate industry, I know that there are fewer open houses, there are mortgage approval challenges, fewer new project launches, fluctuation in prices and number of transactions, general uncertainty in the world and obviously in the real estate market. And some of us may have noticed that governments may be hiding the true impact of the pandemic. Maybe they don't want us to freak out, so they're not telling us the true impact of the pandemic. And we deep down inside, we know that this is not going to go away in like 1 month or 2 months. This is most probably going to stay a year, maybe 2 years, maybe more. But the most important thing is that the world has changed because of COVID-19. We're not going back to the pre-COVID normal. We have to adapt and adjust. Let me stop here. Let me see who is with me on this. If you're with me on this, just raise your hand, just show some kind of confirmation. Who agrees with me on the fact that we're not going back to the pre-COVID normal? Just put up your hand. Let me see. I can see your raised hands here up on my screen. That's fantastic. Now, that's why we have to invest in our personal brand. And I'm going to tell you exactly what a personal brand means and what personal branding means in general. It's not about having a cute logo or having those, headshots or having a really solid business card. It's not about that. Maybe 5% of your branding is your visual branding. That is important, but only maybe 5%. But what is the remaining 95%? I'm going to tell you exactly what that is and how can you become the go-to expert in your field, right? How can you become a trusted authority in your field? And I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. This is what I do for a living, and hopefully it will make sense to you too. Again, just so you know, I'm going to give you examples of real estate professionals who are doing these exact same strategies, tips, tricks to improve their businesses, and hopefully you will get inspired to do the same too. Let me start my presentation by sharing with you a short story of myself. I'm a first-generation immigrant. I was not born in Canada. I was born in Iran, then I moved with my family to the Netherlands, and eventually we moved to Canada. This photo that you can see on the screen is from one of my very first presentations at a business meeting in Canada. It was not actually in Toronto, where I live right now. It was in Montreal. So what happened was that long years ago, I used to be an EFL instructor. So I taught English as a foreign language. Then I became more successful. Gradually, I started my own academy. Gradually, I became even more successful. I started working with corporations, and then my academy grew to the whole nation, and we started serving people all across the board. But then when I came to Canada as a newcomer, some of you may resonate with that. Some of you are first generation immigrants as well. Nobody knew me. I was a nobody, right? So I didn't have any connections. I knew nobody. I had zero network, and somehow I didn't really know how to do business in North America, right? And I can imagine that some of you might be starting as a real estate professional. Some of you may be beginners in the field. You were doing something else before. Now you have transitioned into real estate. For some of you, it may be a side gig and you're just learning how to do it. Of course, some of you like Pat or Dr. Alex or others are seasoned pros in the field. But I'm just telling you this story so that you know I was a professional, but I was new to the field. And nobody knew me. I didn't have any network. So a friend of mine down in Montreal called me up and said, Shahab, I see that you're doing great stuff on personal branding. I love your posts. Your content is solid. Why don't you come to Montreal and speak at one of our events to my fellow business friends? And maybe we can throw a weekend course for entrepreneurs in Montreal, and you can teach them about personal branding. And I said, that sounds fantastic. Let's do it. But the thing is, how are you going to sign up students for that weekend course? Of course, I'm interested, but how are you going to find those students? My friend told me there is this networking group where we meet every Wednesday morning at a restaurant in Montreal. You can come to that networking group. I can introduce you as a speaker. You can speak for 10 minutes on the topic of personal branding. And at the end of the 10 minutes, we're going to announce to the attendees that Shahab is going to stay for the weekend. And he's going to hold a weekend course on personal branding. And you can sign up at such and such price. I said, that's a great idea. Let's do it. So I drove to Montreal, stayed the night, Wednesday morning. My friend came, picked me up, and we went to this networking meeting, just like you see on the screen. I stood up when it was my time. I gave the presentation energetically, full of content, solid tips and tricks. People seemed to be interested. They paid attention. They were kind of engaged. They answered my questions and so on and so forth, right? At the end of the 10 minutes, people applauded. My friend told them about the weekend course, and then the meeting ended. What happened afterwards was really surprising. What happened afterwards was that a lot of the attendees came to me and thanked me for my presentation. They said, we learned a lot from you, Shahab. Very well done. You're a professional speaker. They handed me their business cards, some of them, and they left. They left. And none of them even bothered to ask about, what's included in the course, how can I sign up? Nobody was interested. And we were baffled, right? I was looking at my friend was looking back at me, and we were kind of confused. What went wrong? Obviously, I did a great job at presenting. He did a great job at letting them know that there's this weekend course coming up, but nobody was interested. What was wrong? So on the way back, my friend called up the leader of that group. It's actually the gentleman in yellow sitting at the end of this photo. If you take a look, he is actually the leader of this group. My friend called him up and asked, what went wrong? What was the problem? Why was nobody interested in our offering? And his answers were eye-opening. He said, Shahab was really good, but we don't know him well enough yet. So the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes you're really good at what you do. You're really professional. You're a solid professional. Your services are great. You're honest. You're ethical. You know what you're doing. But people don't know you well enough yet, right? That's the problem, because you're new to the field. You haven't had enough success yet. You're a beginner, right? People don't know you well enough yet. He also said, we aren't sure the course will benefit us. Of course, the 10-minute speech by Shahab was great. We got a ton of value, but we're not really sure if the weekend course will benefit us. And we're not sure whether it's worth, investing. And again, the point I'm trying to make is that maybe you're doing a good job, I don't know, on social media, giving a seminar here and there, having those meetings, going to networking meetings, and you're showing up and you're doing the right stuff, but people don't have enough trust in you yet. You don't have enough credibility yet. And by the way, if you have any questions, I'm going to pause at some point and take your questions. Don't worry about that. And then he said, why choose him? Why choose Shahab? There are better known business coaches out there. Yeah, Shahab is a good one. Shahab is a great one. He seems to be a solid professional, but why choose him? I already know other business coaches, other experts that can help me, right? Now, the thing is, it's all about trust. It's one thing to be an expert in something, but it's totally another thing to be trusted as the expert in something. Who's with me on this? Head over to the chat box, say I, say me, say yes. Show me some confirmation. Show me that you agree. It's one thing to be an expert in something. It's another thing to be trusted as the expert in something, right? So thanks, Pont, thanks, Pat, thanks, Christine, thanks, Jerry. Okay, thank you everyone for chiming in and sharing your thoughts. I'm going to quote one of the marketing gurus of our time, Seth Godin. If you don't know him yet, or if you don't follow his work, I highly recommend that you follow. He's one of the marketing leaders of our time. He says, do they trust you enough to believe your promises? Without trust, you have nothing. Who agrees? Just raise your hand. Let me know if you agree that without trust, you have nothing. It doesn't matter whether your headshot is professional. It doesn't matter whether your visual identity, the logo is great. It doesn't matter whether the sign that you put on the ground is great. Maybe they matter. Maybe it's just 5%, 10% of the whole thing. But what matters is whether you have enough trust with your audience, whether you have built enough credibility. And that's why personal branding is important. That's where I come in. That's where the whole concept of personal branding comes in, because personal branding is not about having that cute logo, the great looking business card. Personal branding is about becoming known as the trusted authority in your field. When they say personal branding expert, is Shahab one of the top 10 that comes to mind, right? If they say personal branding speaker, will Shahab be listed as a personal branding speaker? Has he ever done big events? Has he shared the stage with big names? Has he written books? Has he been featured in media? Does he have any credibility? That's the point. Because it's one thing for you to say you're the expert, you're good. It's totally another thing to be perceived as the expert. That's the whole importance of personal branding. Let me give you examples, both from business leaders in general and from the real estate industry. Based on Globe and the Mail, the average dentist in North America, their income is $140,000 a year. Dr. Kevin Sands, on the other hand, the celebrity dentist, who works with people like Justin Bieber, as you can see on the screen, he charges $1 million for a simple smile makeover. $1 million for a simple smile makeover. Another example from your industry, Josh Altman. The average real estate agent income based on reports from PayScale is around $60,000 in North America. Josh Altman, the superstar real estate agent, earns millions of dollars every single month. Another famous example, Tony Robbins. The average coach, I'm a coach. The average coach, not me, the average coach in North America, their income is $51,000 annually. Tony Robbins earns $9 million only at one of his Unleash Your Power Within events. That's just one event, $9 million. And he does tons of those events every year. He runs a, like, if I'm not mistaken, $5 billion like holding. That's the turnover every year. Now, the point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to be a celebrity. Don't get me wrong. You don't have to be a celebrity. You just need to be trusted by your target audience, right? The ones who need you, the ones who need your services and products. You need to be trusted by them, not by everybody. You don't have to be a celebrity. Don't get me wrong. For example, if you're a specialist doctor, ear, nose, throat doctor, who does a specific plastic surgery for specific clients, and if you're that trusted authority in your field, now you're famous to the right people. You're not a celebrity who is on TV all the time, but you're famous to the right people. You're famous to the family. You have to become famous to the family. You have to become known to your audience. You have to become the trusted go-to authority in your field. Who's with me on this? Raise your hand. Show me that you're following me, right? Thank you so much. Thanks. Okay, fantastic. Now, I've done it for myself, and I've done it for a lot of real estate agents. These are examples of my clients who are successful. You may know them. Mo, team leader at RE/MAX Hallmark, almost always in the top 10 in RE/MAX Canada, most of the time in the top 10 RE/MAX in the whole world. Actually, Toronto Star did an interview with me and Mo because of the success that he had. Part of it, I take the credit, of course, but not all of the credit. He did most of the work. I was just his coach and I helped him along. Another example, Stephen Katz, head of commercial Zimmerman, Home Life Zimmerman, head of commercial real estate. Stephen Katz, 30 years in the market, done billions of dollars of transactions as part of Scotiabank, and then at Home Life Zimmerman. Again, I helped him write a book, get featured in the book. That's Stephen Katz. And we have an ongoing relationship. He sometimes speaks at my events. Cameron, team leader with Mortgage Alliance. You may know him, very well known in Toronto, very good guy, solid guy. Again, he hired me for coaching, a few months of coaching. I even featured him in one of my books, and a lot of other things that we've done together. Lino Contento, most probably you know him. He's the guru in Vaughan, right? With a team of 20-something agents working for him. And again, I've helped him in different occasions, both books and other opportunities as well. So I'm very familiar with the real estate industry. I've had tons of clients in the industry. I've done all of the things that I'm going to share with you for myself, and I've helped a lot of clients in your industry, real estate professionals, do the same. Now that we get it, now that we understand the importance of personal branding, now that we know we have to become the trusted authority in our field, it's not enough to do our job well. It's not enough to be a good guy or girl. It's not enough to know what you're doing. You have to become the go-to expert. That's how you succeed. That's how you stand out. That's how you stop drowning in the sea of sameness. You don't want to drown in the sea of sameness. You want to stand out. How you can do it? Two-step process, very simple. First of all, you have to discover your personal brand. You have to know exactly what you stand for. You have to know exactly what your niche is, what your specialty is. You can't say, I'm a generalist, I'm like just everybody else, please pick me. Nobody will pick you, right? You have to stand for something. You have to have a unique promise of value. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. And then second step, when you're clear about your personal brand, then you need to build credibility. And there are 6 ways you can do it. I'm going to talk about that in this very session. Who is excited to learn more? Just tell me in the chat box, raise your hands, show me some energy.
Yes.
Fantastic, thank you. And by the way, I'd like to encourage you to engage in the conversation, put your comments in the chat box, ask questions, answer my questions. Just don't sit back and look at your cell phone and browse social media. Just be here with me now, take notes, engage in the conversation. Let this webinar matter in your lives. Let this be a new inspiration, motivation, energy, maybe a new idea for you to move forward. Hopefully that's the case. I'm doing my best to make sure that happens. Okay, first step, discover your personal brand. How can you discover your personal brand? How can you know exactly what your unique promise of value is? How can you know exactly what you stand for? You have to be clear on 3 things. You can write it down. You can take a photo of the screen. Just pay attention to this. You have to have a clear personal brand. In order to do that, you need to know your big promise. What's your big promise? I'm going to show you examples. You have to know exactly what problem you solve, what problems you solve, and then how you're different. Because if you say, I'm just like everybody else, but I charge a little less, or my quality is a little bit better, that won't cut it. Everybody else is saying the same thing. You have to be clear on these 3 items. Let me give you example. First from my own industry, and then I'll give an example from your industry. Somebody might say, I'm a life coach. I help you become more successful. That's generic. That's what everybody else is doing. That's what everybody else is saying. But you can say, I help parents build thriving relationships with their teenagers. Now you're a specialist. Now you're my go-to guy or girl if I'm a parent and I have problems communicating with my teenager, right? Another example, you could say, I'm a realtor. I help you buy and sell your property at a great price. That's what everybody else is saying. You could say instead, I'm a realtor who specializes in finding properties for land development in Chicago or in Toronto or whatever, right? I have clients right now. I have this gentleman that I'm working with right now. He's my client, real estate professional, and he specializes in land severance in the GTA. He does nothing else. No work with the end user. He just works with the builder and the investor, right? You can do the same. Of course, you have to clarify your personal brand first. It's not just that you decide to do this and you go do it. You need to clarify it first. You need to see where your strengths lie, what your life story shows, where do you have credibility, and so on and so forth. But the point I'm trying to make is that you're either a wandering generality or a meaningful specific. Let me say that again. You're either a wandering generality or a meaningful specific. I always say that quote by the great Zig Ziglar. Another example, you could say we sell pizza. You could be Domino's Pizza, who says you get fresh, hot pizza delivered to your door in 30 minutes or less, or it's free. That's a big, bold promise. That's a big, bold brand. That's what a brand means. Brand means a unique promise of value. Another example, you could say we deliver packages, or you could be FedEx and say when it absolutely, positively has to get there overnight. Of course, I'm not necessarily talking about taglines. Yes, part of it is tagline, but you have to become clear about your value proposition, about your unique promise of value. And in order to do that, you have to get clear about those 3 things that I mentioned. Again, in my case, Shahab, what do you do? What North Star Success does, we help business professionals grow their business through guaranteed PR and personal branding solutions. That's what we do. And I'm going to talk about the solutions that we provide at the end of this webinar, but it's not about me, it's about you. I'm trying to help you to serve you. So in order to have a clear personal brand, you have to get very clear on your big promise. What's your big promise? If you don't have a big promise, a unique promise, then you're just like everybody else, and you will have a hard time competing with all the other real estate agents in the market. You have to be clear about who you serve. You cannot serve everybody. You cannot say that everybody is my client, everybody is my customer. If you try to serve everybody, you literally serve no one. Don't look at the seasoned real estate agents who have been in the market 20, 30, 40 years, and they're serving like everybody. Those are different because those were the first movers. Those who started working in the real estate when nobody else was doing it, right? But right now, with this saturated market, you cannot say that I serve everybody. You cannot be a generalist. You have to be a specialist. You have to specialize in a certain field, in a certain niche, and in a certain market, in a certain target audience. And of course, you have to know how you're different. But the thing is, a clear personal brand is absolutely necessary, but it's not enough. Why it's not enough? Because even though you know exactly what your personal brand is, even though you know exactly what you stand for, what your big promise is, how you're different, you have to make sure your audience knows it too. You have to build credibility, because if you know by yourself and for yourself that you're this solid professional, this is the audience that you serve, this is how you're different, this is your big promise, whatever it is, but nobody else knows that, your target audience isn't aware of that, and they do not trust you enough yet, then what use is it? If you don't have the credibility, then what use is it? Nobody trusts you. Of course, you know what you stand for, but nobody trusts you, right? That's the whole point. Now, how can you build credibility? Take a look at this screen, right? Fantastic. Okay. I see Jerry, Afruz, Pat, and others chiming in the chat box. Thanks for engaging with the conversation. And whatever questions that you have, put it in the chat box. I'll make sure I'll get to them and answer them hopefully by the end of this webinar. Anyway, 6 ways to build credibility. And I'm going to show you examples of business leaders in general who are doing these exact 6 things, and also real estate professionals who are using these strategies to build their brands and grow their business. Okay? Number 1, show proven results. What do I mean by show proven results? You can get more Google reviews. You can get testimonials from your clients, especially video testimonials. You can get LinkedIn recommendations and other ways of showing people proven results, right? Sharing with your audience that your work yields results. Your services and products, what you're selling to your audience, your services, is really solid. For example, this special bakery in Portugal, Pastel de Belém, they have 47,000 Google reviews at an average of 4.6. That's mind-blowing, right? 47 freaking Google reviews at an average of 4.6. You cannot doubt the quality of this bakery. Don't you agree? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
That's it. You cannot doubt it, because they have so many Google reviews at such a high rate that they are established as the go-to expert in their space. I'm not saying you necessarily, again, have to be a celebrity or you have to be a global phenomenon or everybody in the world should know you. No, you're not the president of the United States. But within your certain field, within the area where you work, within the part of town, the city, the country, wherever you work, you need to be considered that go-to expert. So one of the ways is to use Google reviews, testimonials. Again, I use testimonials all the time, video testimonials. If you go on my website, you see tons of them. If you go on my LinkedIn, you see tons of them. People in different fields who have given me testimonial and they say Shahab's work has helped us grow our business. Again, one of my clients, Mo, we featured him in this book and we've done a lot of other things. I've coached him personally. 49 reviews, 5 out of 5. That's amazing. 49 is not a big number. Maybe some of you have even more than that, but 49 that are on average 5 out of 5. That's big. That's a credibility asset. So number 1 is to show proven results, right? You can write it down, you can take photos and think about these ideas, work on them, start somewhere. You may not have even one Google result yet, or you may not have received even one testimonial from your clients or even one LinkedIn recommendation, but you can start somewhere. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. Let me say that again. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. Start somewhere. Start asking your clients, your customers, your previous clients, current clients, your colleagues, your boss, or whoever that is, to give you testimonials, to write Google reviews for you. And over time, you will see that it adds up, right? Number two, the second solution is to post professional content online consistently. The key word here is post consistently, not just post today and forget about it for a month and then come back tomorrow, next month. No. Post consistently every day. Try to be consistent. Show up every day. Woody Allen says 80% of success is just showing up. Just show up. Just show up on social media and post something. People will notice, right? And over time, that builds credibility. Look at the business leaders in the world. Bill Gates, billionaire, one of the wealthiest people on the planet. Even though he's not the CEO of Microsoft anymore, and he's the co-chair of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, even in that position, he's sharing his stuff consistently. And if you take a look at his LinkedIn or other social media pages, he pretty much shows up very regularly. And when he posts, there are like 90,000 reactions on his posts, which is really cool. I do it all the time. If you go on my social media pages, I have more than 220 something thousand followers on social media, more than 200,000 followers. And I've built that platform over a few years. It's not just that I decided and then tomorrow I got the 200,000. No, I didn't pay for fake subscribers and followers, by the way. It's been sweat, it's been effort, it's been toil, but it works because now I'm considered as one of the authorities in my subject, right? I have the testimonials not only from my clients, but from the gurus, from Deepak Chopra, from Robert Kiyosaki, for God's sake, right? That's because I've showed up every single day and I've posted. Again, in your field, Vivian Risi. Who knows Vivian Risi? Put your hand up if you know Vivian Risi, right? Vivian Risi, Royal LePage. She shows up, 16,000 followers on her personal page. And it's not necessarily that she posts about real estate. She does post about real estate, but she posts about personal stuff too. She posts about her passions and hobbies too, because that's what social media is all about. It's not just about professional stuff. It could be about you as a person. People want to get to know you. And if they know, like, and trust you, they will give you business. Who's with me on that? Raise your hand if you agree.
Yes.
If they know, like, and trust you, they will give you business. Simple as that. But if you're not showing up, if you're not posting on social media, if you think it's too difficult, if you think you don't have time, you're not good on video, you don't know how to write, you need to find the perfect team, you need to hire a marketing agency to do it for you, you will never get started. Start somewhere. Look at my videos, look at Vivian's videos. Some of them are on the cell phone. You have to decide and start. So number 2 is to post consistently. Number 3, public speaking. I know some of you are terrorized and terrified of the idea of public speaking, but some of you are not comfortable speaking publicly or speaking to a large group, either in person or online. You don't see that in yourself. But again, public speaking is one of the best ways. Again, examples of business leaders. Simon Sinek. Who knows Simon Sinek? Simon Sinek, the author of Start With Why, one of the top-ranked leadership gurus in the world. 50 million views on one of his TED talks alone. 50 million views on one video alone. That's the power of public speaking. When you speak publicly, of course, you have to work on it. You have to practice. You can go to Toastmasters Club. You can get a speaking coach or whatever. You can speak in front of a mirror. I don't know. Who cares? But if you do it, you will get the results. I do it all the time. This is one of my events. I do events all year round. In person, online, I sometimes speak on my own. I sometimes get other speakers. I sometimes book celebrities to speak at my events. And you can do it too, right? Another example, I'm showing you folks in the real estate industry. They're doing first-time home buyers. You can see this? Can you see the screen? You see it?
Yes.
People doing seminars and webinars just like this. Of course, it's a webinar for real estate agents. I'm teaching you personal branding, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a webinar for real estate agents. You can do a webinar for buyers, for sellers, for investors, for mortgage people, or mortgage people can do webinars and seminars for real estate professionals, and so on and so forth, right? So public speaking, that's very important. Don't say, I'm not good at public speaking. Closed. No. Have a growth mindset. Learn it. You're not a tree. You can change, right? Even trees change. So invest in your skills of public speaking. Now, are you excited to learn about the next 3 solutions? We've already covered 3. Who's excited about the next 3? Just show me in the chat box. Fantastic. Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Pat. Thanks, everyone else. Where is everybody else? I cannot see the comments coming in. Thanks, Spawn. There you go. Just put something in the chat box. Let me know that you're alive. Just joking. Okay, fantastic. 4, write a book. The best way, in my experience of working as a solopreneur in the past 20-something years in 3 different countries and rising to the top over the years, is that writing a book is the best thing you can do to establish your brand. Honestly, that's the best thing you can do. I've written multiple books. This is one of my recent books, The How of Personal Branding. I've produced books for my clients. I think close to 100 authors, different books for my clients. And by the way, this is a book that we did for real estate professionals. Can you see? Stories of masters of real estate. Can you see? So books. You think books don't work in your industry? Think again. David Patel Evans, the founder of Good Life Fitness, he has written a book and he gives a copy of his book to everyone who walks into the door of any of his fitness studios. And it doesn't matter if he just has 7 ratings on Amazon. Maybe 10 people just read the book and left a review on Amazon. It doesn't matter. Just the fact that he's the author gives him the status of being the authority in his field. Don't you agree? Yes or yes? Yes or yes? The fact that you have written a book, the fact that you have been featured in a book, it could be a whole book, it could be a multi-author book, gives you the authority, a status, because people respect and trust authors. The fact that you're an author, you've been featured in a book, shows that you're the go-to expert, right? Again, business leaders, billionaires, millionaires are doing this. In your industry, Don R. Campbell, who knows Don R. Campbell? Don R. Campbell in Alberta, the real estate investor, real estate coach, very successful guy. Multiple books. Writing a book positions you as the expert. Look at the leaders. Don't look at the struggling real estate agent next door. Look at what the leaders are doing. Look at what the personal brands are doing. Look at what the millionaires are doing. And I'm not just talking about money. Money is important. Yes, we needed to live a life, but impact, right? Freedom. So it's not just that you write a book because you're an author. You might not be an author. You're a real estate professional. You're not just like me. You're not a coach who needs to write a book. Don R. Campbell is not like me, right? He's a real estate investor. Of course, he was so successful that he started teaching others about real estate investment. But that's the point. You don't write a book because you're an author. You write a book to build your brand. You don't do public speaking because you're a public speaker. You do public speaking because you want to build your brand. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? Those are the things that you need to be doing. Don't invest your money in cute logos or the professional headshot. That's only 5% of the game. Build your brand, right? And I've done books for myself, just like I said, and books for my clients. This is the book that we did for our real estate clients, 5 of them. And we published the book. It became an Amazon bestseller. And these folks can use the title of Amazon bestselling author for the rest of their lives. And they can It can open up new doors for them, new possibilities for them. They can get bigger clients, better clients. Bigger clients will trust them because now they're this published author, right? That's another solution. Number 5, getting featured in media. One of the best ways to get credibility and to build trust is to get featured in media and use those logos on your marketing material, on your website, on your flyers, so on and so forth. A business leader, I'll give you an example first, and then somebody in your industry. I'm going to show you a very familiar face in the next slide. So Darren Hardy, the editor of Success Magazine. Darren Hardy, the author of the book Compound Effect. You may know him, very successful person. When you go on his website, you see all these logos. Can you see this red line here, the red box? Fox, CBC, NPR, CNBC. These logos give you credibility. Even if you're a multimillionaire, even if you're one of the most successful people in your field, people use those logos. Somebody in your field, of course, I use it all the time. I've been featured on Forbes, the Wall Street Journal, Toronto Star, Yahoo Finance, so many more. And it gives me more credibility. It shows that I'm an authority in my space. And how you do it, of course, you can contact us. That's what we do as a personal branding agency. And we do it for our clients too. This is a sample of what we did for a few clients. Kylie Jenner, who knows Kylie Jenner, the self-proclaimed, self-made billionaire. Her sponsored Instagram posts are valued at $1 million each. Let me tell you what that means. If you ask Kylie Jenner to post about you or your company just once on her Instagram, they will charge you $1 million. That's the power of media. I'm just showing you this example to know that it's not necessarily have to be a print media. It can be social media. But hanging out with the big guys. Very familiar face in your industry, Tom Ferry, right? Who knows Tom Ferry? Put your hand up. Everybody knows Tom Ferry in the real estate industry, right? When you go on his website, you see all of these. Inc. 5000, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Huffington Post. Why? Does he need it? Of course, you bet he does. Because this gives him credibility. And it's not just one thing that you do. It's a combination of all these different things. Of course, when you go on Tom Ferry's website, he has showcased a lot of video testimonials, written testimonials, proven results, right? The logos, the book, the programs, all of that combined builds credibility. Who's with me on this? Do you get it? Yes or yes, right? That's the point. Build credibility. You may be a good coach or a real estate investor, a good coach like Tom Ferry, a real estate investor like Don R. Campbell, a successful team leader like Mo Asgharian or whoever else, or in the mortgage industry even. But if nobody knows you, it doesn't matter. What use is it? You need to build that credibility. And these are the ways you can do it. Of course, I feature my clients on social media as well. This is one of my clients, Alka. She owns a fitness studio in Toronto, and I did an interview with her. 30,000 people watched that interview. You see these? 186 people saved the interview for future reference. Isn't that crazy? That gives you credibility. That gives you exposure. Of course, I have 200,000 followers, but that's the power of media, either social media or print media. And finally, last one, and when I'm done with this, hopefully I'll wrap up and open the floor for a few minutes of Q&A, is association with big brands, right? If you can associate with big brands, with celebrities, of course, the ones that you respect and trust, not any celebrity, but the ones that you respect and trust, can expedite your success. I'm going to give you examples again from business leaders and from real estate professionals. Robin Sharma, the author of The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I think over 10 million followers on social media, very successful leadership speaker. When you go on his website, he boasts about the fact that he has worked with Nike, GE, Microsoft. He has shared the platform with Richard Branson, Bill Clinton, Jack Welch. Why? Because associating with big brands, with big names, gives you credibility as well, right? Do you get that? Yes or yes? When I say I've worked with Robert Kiyosaki and Robert says that he loved working with me and gave me a testimonial, that gives me credibility because you know Robert Kiyosaki, right? And that gives me credibility. Working with celebrities, working with big brands. You don't know how to do it? We can do it for you. That's what we do at North Star Success, right? Again, I've worked with Robert Kiyosaki, many more. Evan Carmichael, 2 million subscribers on YouTube. I've done that for my clients. This is Dr. Kevin Engel from Calgary. We are putting together a book with Brian Tracy at this very moment, and he's one of our clients. He signed up, and he's now an author with Brian Tracy. We did that for him. You see, North Star Success is the publisher of the book Bounce Back to Success. Brian Tracy is an author. Kevin Engel, my client, is another author, and a few others as well. So that's what you can do, because associating with big brands can expedite your success. And again, another client, Dr. Ahmed Ali, who is a real estate investor in Ottawa, and he has done books, he's written books with Robert G. Allen, who most definitely, you know, is a guru in the real estate industry, right? So that's the point. Now, let me wrap up. The whole thing is that if you want to build credibility, these are the 6 proven steps. I've done it for myself to build my brand to become a top 1% coach in North America. I've done it for my clients. I showed you multiple examples and samples. A lot of other successful real estate professionals are using these strategies just like I showed you, and you can do it too. So remember, if you want to become the authority in your field, if you want to become the go-to expert in your field, it's only 2 steps. Very simple, but not easy. You have to decide. You have to take the time, invest the time, money, energy, and effort to do this. But it's worth every second. It's worth every penny. It's an investment that you do. You invest the time, the money to build these assets, and over time, you will enjoy the benefits. First, discover your personal brand. Exactly become clear on what you stand for, what's your unique promise of value, who you serve, how you're different. Be very clear about those, and then build credibility using the 6 different steps. Again, examples of real estate professionals who have used these techniques. My clients, I'm proud to call them my clients: Mo, Stephen, Cameron, Lino, from mortgage industry, from real estate, investors, builders, agents, it doesn't matter. Okay, let me wrap up. If you would like me to teach you for free, even more, because we're done here, our time is over. If you would like me to teach you even more, all of these for free, exactly how you can get featured on media, how you can write books, how you can do public speaking, go to northstarsuccess.com. That's my website. Do it right now. Don't postpone it. It's for free. I'm not going to pressure you to buy anything. It's just free stuff so that you get to know me better and so that you get to know our solutions at North Star Success better. northstarsuccess.com. Go to my website, scroll down to the bottom of the page. There's a form. It says sign up for the free training. Just sign up. Give your email. It's free. Nothing to sell. It's just more information so that you know how you can build your brand, write books, get on stages, get featured on media. Go to northstarsuccess.com, scroll down to end of the page, bottom of the page, and sign up. By the way, at North Star Success, what we do is, number 1, coaching. Obviously, I teach all of this and I work with my clients, just the ones like the ones I mentioned. 2, we do book deals. We publish books, sometimes with celebrities, and we guarantee that they become Amazon bestsellers. And the beautiful thing is that we will publish your book within 6 months. So 6 months from now, you can be a published author and you can benefit from all the branding that goes with it. And 3rd, we run events all year long, and we get sponsors to showcase them. We get speakers to showcase them, and lots of visibility, lots of training, lots of learning. That's it. How was it? Did you enjoy it? Just show me some appreciation, show me some love.
Yes.
Yes. Very, very, very informative. Lots of exciting tips. I'm excited. I'm excited to go through your free training stuff also. Fantastic.
I hope you enjoyed this presentation. I have to go because I have another presentation at 1:30. But it was an honor, pleasure, joy to serve you. I'm gonna hang on for 1 more minute. If you have any specific questions, burning questions, just let me know in the chat box. And go to northstarsuccess.com, scroll down to the end of the page, sign up for the free training. I'll be happy to serve you there as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Shahab Anari. That was great presentation, and we learned a lot. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. It was a pleasure serving you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.